look at this real quick. With the spirit of power, y'all, Hashem, y'all shine. Because he's saying some things, but he's not making sense. None of what he's saying is making sense when we examine this. I'm trying to highlight this. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Sorry. And the elders tried their best, and this ain't no disrespect to GMS or Elder Tahar, but we just got to be honest with the text. You know, the scriptures say knowledge will increase in the last days. So, and the elect has to wake up. So this is what we have going on. So we got Kai Yaham, right? Yaraham. So Kai Yaraham. Yaraham is going into the mercy that the Lord is having. And that's compassionate. That's tender affection, right? The tender affection that Yahweh is having is towards all his people. So you got Kai, Yaraham, Yahweh Af, Yaiquab, Wabachar, Awad, right? So when you get into what Yahweh is doing there, he's having literally mercy on the house of Jacob, and he's choosing right here. So let me get this right here. This is what he choosing. He choosing literally the chosen, the elect. It said Bachar when you deal with Bachar, right? Bachar is going into the chosen, the elect, the decided. Says to be chosen, selected, right? Bachar, Bachar. So this chosen right here that's happening with the Most High, and he in the yet again, because we see this is again happening, right? Which is a wide, right? So Wabachar in choosing a wide Ba, which is in. Where is he choosing? And yet again, where is this happening in? Israel. So if this is yet again happening in Israel, how in the world could the strangers, right? How could the strangers on earth be the Israelites? If he's yet again, which is doubling down, which is reaffirming. This is a reaffirming notion, right? Even in the Hebrew stem here, is letting us know that this is dealing with all the house of the Israelites. Period, point blank. Because the chosen and the cognitive is happening here, right here. This is where it's happening. Kai, Yaraham, Yahweh, Af, Yaiquab, Wabachar, Awad, by Yasharah, right? That's where that's happening at. You need to understand that. Hold on, let me get something real quick. All right, let's see it. We'll see the same thing here. You have Kai Yahweh, Raham, Yaracham right here. Actually, the root is Raham, but you got Yaracham, which is the will, which is something an imperfect statement, something that he will do to who? The house of Yaiquab, right? And then you have Bachar, right, or Wabachar, which is in will. You have Wabachars right here. And then you have Bachar, right? Then you have Awad, right? So hold on, let me get into that real quick. What did I want to get into? You can even see that here for the mercy part that I brought out. Again to you, we see the same thing. To love, to have mercy, to be compassionate, have tender affection, right? This is what the Lord is doing with the house of Israel. How we know the strangers for that nature isn't the Israelites. And we're going to keep going and getting that real quick. Let me go back to Microsoft. Right. This is all, to me, this is simple. Right? This is all being made clear to me. If this makes sense to y'all, please put a 1 in the chat if it makes sense to you so far. So you got Wahan Yacham, right? Which is going to settle them, right? So the Lord is settling the Israelites, right? He's settling the Israelites where? You have all Adam Thumb, right? Wahan Yacham, all Adam Thumb, right? So that's literally where they being settled in their land, right? This is a form of rest that they're having, right? Mean literally to settle down, right? To be placed, obtained rest. So there's no way if we got Ka Yaraham Yahweh of Yaikwa Wabachar Awad Ba Yasharal Wahan Yaham all Adam Thumb, there's no way impossible that when we continue to read that these people are Israelites, right? Because we see the cognitive rest that's being held, right, already with the house of Israel before we get where, right? Before we get in it, the joining, right? So we have what? Wa, right? Which is and, right? And we have the placement of that, which is the new or the na, right? This let us know what type of binding this is happening. This is a free will choice of binding. And nothing about slavery is happening here. This is why the elder from GMS lied or misspoke, because I want to make this a slight, and said that these strangers right here were Israelites, because even in the Hebrew, there's no language of bondage going on here in these verses at all. There's no stretch in no form of the imagination, right? So IUIC is going off when they say that these strangers are going into bondage, because we don't see that in the Hebrew. We don't see that in the text, right? We see Wanalwa, right? Wanalwa is literally, it's like it. Wanalwa is literally going into like being joined and attached, right? What's attached, man? To be joined and attached is a big deal. No heathen can do this, right? That's just impossible. No heathen can take hold of that. So you got Wahan Yacham al Wahan Yacham al Adam Thumb, right? Wanalwa. It's like yeah, Wanalwa Ha'agar, right? Hagara. So like yeah, Hagara all Yaham, right? So which is what? So what's happening? And joining what? What's joining? The stranger, right? I'm busy right now. Upon them, man. So you see, that's what we see right now. We see literally the stranger being joined upon them. So you got the stranger right here, right? A whole separation what we from what we see in line one, right? Being joined, right? Hagar al Yaham, right? Wanasagahawa, right? So like it, this word is literally going into the the uh joining that's happening in with the house of Israel, right? The joining together, the assembling, if for other words, was establishing that joining through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And the root, I believe, is right here, right? Because this, the like I said, you have and then you got this new or the na, which is showing you how and what type of joining this is, right? And this is a free will type of joining that's happening to the house of Israel, right? So you got wa, right? Then you got nasagahawa, right? Or nasagah, right? Nasagah. You got that ha, and you got the wa, nasagah. Um, and then you got al, which is what upon or on. What is the strangers joining on to? Plainly in this text, upon what? The so you got al bayath yaquab, the house of Israel. That's what they joining on to, right? Kai Yaracham Yasharal Av Yaquab Wabachar Awad Ba Yasharal Wahan Yacham Al Adam Thumb Wanalwa Hagar Al Yaham Wanasa Gahwal Al Bayath Yaiqua. There's no way in this, in no stretch form of the imagination, that these people right here that we see are Israelites. That's literally just impossible. No, nothing uh, is showing that in any of this verbiage through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. We don't see that. What we do see in things like this, like when we deal even like with Wanawa, let me show you what we see. We see a continuation, right? A clause continuation, right? The new right here show us the state, all right? Right? It show us the marker, right? This show us what? The direction, right? Shepherd, in a sense, right? This shows us what's binding or joining, right? As in foot, right? And we know this shows us the condition, right? A revealed condition of what's been established, right? And anybody that's studying Hebrew actually knows that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Now let's get down to line 2.